Check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1. All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Loop here at Red River Exhibition Park. We've got 8 races on the card this afternoon, and if you've got your program handy, we have got a couple of changes to make for you. If you turn to race number 1, scratch horse number 4, Senga Savannah. Again, race number 1, scratch horse number 4, Senga Savannah. In race number 4, scratch horse number 3, Not So Bashful. Again, in race number 4, on your program, please scratch horse number 3, Not So Bashful. As well, in race number 5 this afternoon, horse number 4, Choose to Cruise. Your driver is Dawn Howlett. We have a driver change in race number 5, horse number 4, Choose to Cruise. The driver is now Dawn Howlett. Again, we've got 8 races on the program this afternoon, a couple of stake races to come your way, a nice pace purse race to save for you for the end of the afternoon. So stick around. The track is fast, and we are going to have a great afternoon of pacing here at Red River Exhibition Park. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the horses are coming out onto the track for race number 1 this afternoon. It's for a purse of $5,100. Let's introduce you to everybody who is taking part in this race number 1 on our 8-race card this afternoon. Horse number 1 is My Little Clo, driven and trained by Corey Manning. Horse number 2, Everyone's Hero, with driver Daryl Mason and trained by Sherry Mason. Your number 3 horse is Voodoo Blue Chip. Voodoo Blue Chip is driven by Don Howlett and trained by Matthew Howlett. Just remind you once again that horse number 4 in race number 1, Singa Savannah, has been scratched this afternoon. Again, horse number 4, race number 1, scratched. So we move on to horse number 5. Horse number 5 in race number 1 is Tammy Blue, driven and trained by Clayton Braybrook. Horse number 6 is He Watching, with driver Michael Ray and trained by Richard Ray. Horse number 7, Mystic Messenger, with driver and trainer Paula Mason. And horse number 8 in this wonderful field is Be Special, driven by Dean Ray and trained by Aaron Mason. There's your post parade, and let's take a look at race number 1 on this day, a Saturday, beautiful sunny Saturday here at Red River Exhibition Park. And we're starting off with a nice 7-horse field with some interesting possibilities. So for the race, I'm going to pick the number 3 horse this time around, Voodoo Blue Chip, to work some magic and hit the winner's circle. The colt won last week, going almost wire to wire, has run 8 times this season at the Loop and finished in the money 7 out of those 8 times. You got to love that. And in the hot hand of Don Howlett and his .532 winning percentage this year, it's a combination the rest of the field is going to be hard-pressed to match. For my place pick in race number 1, I'm moving a little farther outside with the number 16, Is He Watching, and driver Clayton Braybrook. Started 5th last week and weaved her way right through the pack to finish 2nd to eventual winner Voodoo Blue Chip. If she was starting a little closer to the rail today, I'd give her a real shot at winning, but I think she'll be the maid of honor when all is said and done. And for 3rd, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse this afternoon, My Little Clo. Yeah, the mare has been turning in some impressive times this year, but that was at track on 2 in Alberta, and you can add anywhere from about 3 to 5 seconds to those totals here at the Loop. She ran a 2:05 in her Loop debut last week, which should put her right around 3rd place this week. So for race number 1 this afternoon, I'm going to make it a 3-6-1. 3-6-1. Plus, this is race number 1 of the early daily double, and for the DD, I'm going to be going to say horses number 3 and 3, looking like $1 million in the second, and that is the second leg of the Golden Boy Stake in race number 2. Good luck from the Loop, and now we turn it over to the professor. Here's Mike Williams with his picks.
Thank you very much, Frank. Beautiful day here at the Loop, and we start off with a good 7-horse field with the 4-horse Sanga Savannah scratched in this race. Took a close look at this one, but I really like Voodoo Blue Chip with Don Howlett. This horse has got 4 wins, a second and 2/3 in 8 starts, and that last week with post position 1, pacing a very strong mile and 2-1 in a piece, makes him the favorite to me today, coming out of post position 3. Like the chances to get his picture taken in race number 1. Horse for second, I'm going to give My Little Chloe a better look. I thought maybe on the backside coming to the half for the first time last week, I thought maybe My Little Chloe had the air taken out of him a little bit. When Michelle Ray went in front of him, it looked like Corey was in full momentum and just seemed to lose a little ground shortly after that. I thought maybe he took a little air out of this horse, and I think coming out of post position 1, you're going to see a different My Little Chloe. He does run very brave on the front end. Horse for 3rd could easily be the favorite in this race, but coming out of post position 6 is He Watching with driver Michelle Ray, trainer Ricky Ray. 3 wins in 2 seconds in the last 5 starts. Absolutely razor sharp. We have a good horse race here, but I'm going to take the 3, 1, and 6 in that order. The daily double, I really like Voodoo Blue Chip with the 3 horse, looking like $1 million in race number 2. Good luck, everybody. We'll see everybody back in race number 2.
Test one. All right, folks, the horses are heading around the curve, and they're going down the backstretch, going to get themselves in position. So let's reintroduce you once more to everybody taking part in race number one this afternoon. Your number one horse, My Little Chloe, driven by Corey Manning. Number two is Everyone's Hero, driven by Daryl Mason. Your number three horse is Voodoo Blue Chip with Don Howlett on the reins. Course number four has been scratched, so your number five horse is Tammy Blue with driver Clayton Braybrook. Number six is He Watching, driven by Michelle Ray. Number seven is Mystic Messenger, driven by Paula Mason. And that's Dean Ray holding the reins for number eight, Be Special. The horses are getting themselves into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are in position as we come around the turn. They're at the post. Swing open that gate and watch those ponies accelerate, folks. We are racing. It is race number one here at the Loop on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in September. As we head around that first turn, it is Voodoo Blue Chip out of the third hole taking the early lead, followed very quickly by the rest of the field as everyone looks to make their position. Coming up from the outside right now, that is Tammy Blue starting to make a move and starting to challenge for the lead. It's Voodoo Blue Chip as we go down the back stretch, and then it is Be Special now as we hit the first quarter at a time of 30-3. It is Be Special in the lead, followed by Voodoo Blue Chip, then Tammy Blue, My Little Chloe, and we've got horses coming on as well from the back stretch with Everyone's Hero also coming in and making a move on the outside. The horses all bunched together nicely. You could throw a blanket over them as we come down the home stretch for the first time and head towards the halfway post. That continues to be Voodoo Blue Chip in the lead as we hit the halfway mark at 102 even. That is 102 for Voodoo Blue Chip, followed by Be Special. Now Everyone's Hero moves into second with Voodoo Blue Chip continuing to plow the road. Everyone's Hero, Be Special, and My Little Chloe. Heading down the back stretch, it's going to be Is He Bashful, Mystic Messenger, and also Everyone's Hero bringing up the rear. It is continuing to be Voodoo Blue Chip in the lead as we go down the backstretch for the final time. Voodoo Blue Chip now separating from the field and hitting the three-quarter pole at a time of 1:32.2. That is Voodoo Blue Chip continuing to show the way. It is going to be an exciting finish, I think, as we come around that final turn and going to be heading towards home. Voodoo Blue Chip separating just a little bit from the rest of the pack as we make that turn into the final home stretch. Voodoo Blue Chip with Be Special, Is He Watching, and Everyone's Hero coming out from the outside. It is He Watching? Voodoo Blue Chip continues to lead, but it is going to be coming in. Is He Watching? That is close. I think it was Voodoo Blue Chip with Is He Watching back by a nose, but we're going to leave it to the judges to make the final determination on that. But it looks like in a time of 2:03.3, unofficially, your winner, Voodoo Blue Chip in race number one. Stick around. We'll have the official results for you in a couple of minutes' time. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner at a time of 2:03 and 3 is Voodoo Blue Chip down in the winner's circle. Voodoo Blue Chip, driven by Don Howlett and trained by Matthew Howlett, is a 3-year-old brown colt by American Ideal out of Regal Electra from Mach 3 and owned by Don Howlett of West St. Paul, Manitoba. So, on your program, your official order of finish from top down is 651 scratch 4273. That's 651 scratch 4273. We'll be back with the payouts in a couple of seconds from now. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your winner at a time of 2:03 and 3 is Voodoo Blue Chip. Voodoo Blue Chip pays $6.10 to win, $3.10 to place, $2.10 to show. Is he watching the number 2 horse, $2.60 to place and $2.60 to show? And Beast Special, your number 3 horse, $7.20 to show. Your $1 exactor, 3.6, paid $5.70, while your 20-cent 3.68 triactor paid $12.25. That's it. It is race number 1 in the books. We'll be back with race number 2 coming up in a couple of minutes from now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, race number 2 is leg number 2 of the Golden Boy Stake. This is going to be a great one for a purse of $7,853. Let's introduce you to everybody taking part in this fantastic race as they come around the turn and pass in front of the grandstand. Your number 1 horse is Tough Crowd, driven by Don Howlett and trained by Mark Filion. Your number 2 horse, Raise Your Glass, with driver Michelle Ray and trained by Richard Ray. Your number 3 horse, Looking Like a Million, with driver Richard Remillard and trainer Tara Isman. Your number 4 horse is Cartoon Kid, driven and trained by Mark Filion. And your number 5 horse, Just a Cool Dude, driven by Dean Ray and trained by Roland Ray. All right, let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at the second leg of this Golden Boy Stake. 5-horse field, but right off the bat, I think you have to think that the number 3 horse, Looking Like a Million, is definitely one of the favorites to wind up in the winner's circle. Back on August 17th, the gelding started 4th in leg number 1 of the Golden Boy, then ran outside for about half the race before putting on a final burst of speed down the home stretch to take the first leg in probably about a half a length. It was close. Won last week, too, so I say history repeats itself this afternoon, and we have a 2-time Golden Boy winner with Looking Like a Million crossing the finish line first. For second, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse, Cartoon Kid. Ran nicely last week with a 2:02-1, and the last time the colt started 4th, won by 3 lengths. Much like the first leg of the Golden Boy, I think he'll battle it out with Looking Like a Million quite a bit. And much like the first leg of the Golden Boy, I think he's going to come in a close second. And for third, I'm going to go with the number 1 horse, Tough Crowd. Now, if you look at past performance, the colt doesn't really seem to enjoy starting out along the rail. The last 2 times started out along the rail, dropped to 4th and 7th respectively. But I think just like human athletes, the horse can sense when there's something a little special in the air and they're running a big race. I think Tough Crowd will be in tough, but will stay with the crowd up front and make it an exciting finish to show. So for the second leg of the Golden Boy Stake, let's make it 3, 4, and 1. Good luck from the Loop. And now we throw it over to the Professor, Mike Williams, for a quick recap of race number 1 and a look ahead to race number 2.
Oh, thanks, Frank. A little recap on race number 1. Voodoo Blue Chip, I think, raced a pretty good mile, got to the top. Looks like he let Tammy Blue go, then he took over again. But the mile I thought was going to go much faster than 2:03-1. So maybe the track isn't all that fast today. There is a wind out there. We'll see what happens in race number 2. But Voodoo Blue Chip just hung on. I think a horse you got to watch out for next week is Izzy Watching. Was way back, pulled the trigger in the backside, and he just about got there. Another 10 feet, I think he would have gone by Voodoo Blue Chip. But congratulations to Don Howlett and Matthew Howlett for a job well done in race number 1. We're going to go right back to the 3 horse in race number 2. You got to take Look Like a Million. He's going to get back-to-back stake wins in here. The horse is razor sharp right now, and I think looking at the program, there's not a heck of a lot of early speed in here. And I expect the old vet, Richard Remillard, to take this one to the top. And I said this for years when Richard used to race in Winnipeg and on the circuit. Nobody can hold a horse better on front than Richard Remillard. Even at his age today, he keeps a horse live when he gets to the front end. And that's what I expect Look Like a Million would do in this race. Cartoon Kid with Mark Filion, driver trainer. Look, just take a look at the last 6 starts. The horse hasn't been worse than third. He's made over $10,000 thus far this year. Definitely competitive in here. And you're going to hear from Cartoon Kid coming down the lane. You're going to see a challenge, I think, between these two as far as the exactor bet goes. Wide open for third. I'm going to take the inside with the top driver here on the circuit, or one of the top 2 drivers for sure, Don Howlett on the inside. I think we'll give Tough Crowd a really good trip, and he's going to pass some tired horses coming home in the lane. Really like the 3, Looking Like a Million, to take all the marbles in race number 2. Followed by the 4 and 1. We'll see everybody back in race number 3.
All right, folks, the horses have been called to the post, so as they head around the turn, down to the back stretch, and start to get themselves into position for this race number 2, leg number 2, the Golden Boy Stake, let's reintroduce you to everybody taking part. Your number 1 horse is Tough Crowd, driven by Don Howlett. Raise Your Glass, with Michelle Ray as the driver, is the number 2 horse. Your number 3 horse, Looking Like a Million, driven by Richard Remillard. Your number 4 horse, Cartoon Kid, with driver Mark Filion. And number 5 was driver Dean Ray and Just a Cool Dude. The horses will be in position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are lined up as we come around the turn. They're at the post. Swing open that gate and let those ponies accelerate. It is the second leg of the Golden Boys Stake on a beautiful Saturday afternoon at Red River Exhibition Park. Raise Your Glass, with driver Michelle Ray, takes the early lead, but quickly coming from the outside and starting to swoop in at his Cartoon Kid, with driver Mark Filion now challenging and taking over the lead as we head down the back stretch. That's Cartoon Kid, followed by Raise Your Glass. Tough Crowd, Looking Like a Million, and Just a Cool Dude, watching them all. 29-4, we hit the first quarter pole with Cartoon Kid still showing the way. It is Raise Your Glass, followed by Tough Crowd, Looking Like a Million, and Just a Cool Dude at the back of the pack. Now starting to make a move and come up from the back, it is Looking Like a Million. Looking Like a Million now starting to weave in from the outside and going to be pressing towards that lead. It is Cartoon Kid still holding the lead as we come around to the halfway point, but look out, here comes Looking Like a Million. It is still Cartoon Kid as we hit the half at 1 minute even. Good time in this, the second leg of the Golden Boy Stake. Heading into turn number 3, Cartoon Kid still showing the way with Looking Like a Million now coming up to press from the outside. It is Raise Your Glass, Tough Crowd, and Just a Cool Dude watching everybody in front. Cartoon Kid heads down that back stretch with about a half horse lead as we head towards the three-quarter pole, being challenged by Looking Like a Million. We hit that three-quarter in a time of 1:30 even. We are going to have a good time if the horses don't let up as we come around the final turn and into the home stretch. It is still Cartoon Kid, followed by Looking Like a Million. Cartoon Kid separated a bit from the pack, but now Looking Like a Million is challenging from the outside and starting to put on a late burst of speed as we head into the final stretch. Cartoon Kid leads, but here comes Looking Like a Million. Looking Like a Million with some late speed takes the early lead, and boom, there we go, in a time of 2 and 2. So it's 2 minutes and 2/5. It is Looking Like a Million, the winner of leg number 2 of the Golden Boy Stake. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Now heading into the winner's circle. Congratulations, the winner of leg number 2 of the Golden Boy Stake, and a repeat winner. Won leg number 1 back on August the 17th and wins it again this afternoon. Looking like a million, driven by Richard Remillard and trained by Tara Isman. The 3-year-old brown gelding by Ambro Baylor out of Untold Millions from Dealer Take All is owned by Tara and Dr. Valerie and M. George Isman of Manitoba and Garrett Isman of Alberta. Again, your winner at a time of 2 minutes and 2/5 seconds, looking like a million. Officially on your program, top down, it is 34125. 34125. We'll be back with the payouts in a couple of minutes from now. Again, your winner at a time of 2 minutes and 2/5 seconds was looking like a million. Paid $280 to win, $250 to place, and $240 to show. Your number 2 horse was Cartoon Kid at $350 to place and $290 to show. And the number 3 horse was Tough Crowd at $440 to show. Your $1 exact 3-4 paid $2.60. The 20-cent triactor 341 paid a whopping 91 cents. And your $1 daily double, if you picked it right, 3 and 3, you got yourself $2.15. That'll do it for leg 2 of the Golden Boy Stake, race number 2 on our 8-race card this afternoon. We'll have the post parade for race number 3 coming up in a few minutes from now. All right, folks, the horses are on the track for race number 3 this afternoon. So let's introduce you to everybody taking part. It's a short field, only 4 horses involved in race number 3 today. Your number 1 horse is Irish Maureen, driven by Tyler Grundy and trained by Jacqueline Grundy. The number 2 horse, One Timer, driven by Daryl Mason and trained by Sherry Mason. Stick Him In and Let Him Go is the number 3 horse, driven and trained by Corey Manning. And your number 4 horse is Irish Hawk, driven and trained by Clayton Braybrook. All right, let's take a look ahead to race number 4. It's a maiden race. In other words, horses who have never won a race yet in their careers. Small field, like we said, only 4 horses in this one, which should make it pretty easy to pull off a triactor win. Let's go with the number 3 horse, Stick Him In and Let Him Go, to pick up his first career win this afternoon. Started 5th in a maiden race last week with driver Corey Manning swooping into first out of the gate, turn number 1, only to lose by about a half a length at the wire. I think today Corey employs the same kind of strategy, but with a different outcome and a trip to the winner's circle when all is said and done. For second, let's go to the far outside and take Irish Hawk. Last week ran a decent 2:06, which isn't going to excite anybody, no. But if you look at the times for the 2 horses started closest to the rail, it's it's a far sight better. And for third, let's go with the number 2 horse, One Timer. Has the most experience in this race. That's got to count for something. So for this maiden adventure, let's go with horses number 3, 4, and 2. Bet the 4-horse box. It'll cost you about $12, but you should make a few bucks in the end. And with a recap now on race number 2 this afternoon and his thoughts on the upcoming race number 3, let's send it down to the old professor, Mike Williams.
And what a recap it is, Frank. That looked like a million, did look like his name, looked like a million. I thought Richard Remillard, looking at the race, pulled the horse a little too early, was parked on the outside for almost 3/4 of a mile, but he kept the horse live and paced a very strong mile in 2 minutes and a piece, and that's a good mile. So he was by far the best in that race for sure. So congratulations, good drive by Richard Remillard and trainer Tara Isman for another job. Extremely well done. Race number 3, we have a 4-horse field in here. Now here we have definitely a key in this race, and that's Stick Him In and Let Him Go with Corey Manning. Had the 5-hole last week and finished second, a good second in the mile at 2:05. That was this horse's first start as a 4-year-old, and looked good doing it. I can't see anything but the 3-horse winning this race. Horse I like for second is going to be Irish Hawk. He's got 3 consecutive seconds in the last 3 races, plus a third in a qualifier as well. And looks to be the best of the rest as far as second goes. And wide open for third. Let's go to the inside with Tyler Grundy, with Irish Marine, paced a mile in 2:10. Just getting used to racing, this 2-year-old. Racing against 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, that's always a tough task. So lots to learn for Irish Marine, but getting the experience with this 2-year-old filly needs. Now, this is for the Loop. People here at the Loop. This is a race, if you haven't bet, to get your feet wet in what we call an exotic bet. I really like the 3-horse, so I'm going to spend $6 and take a $1 triactor wheel, 3 with all. So take the horse you like on top, with the remaining in the field on a $1 triactor wheel. If the favorite runs out, you can get a big return, whether it's 4 horses or not. So good luck. We'll see everybody back in race number 4.
As the horses head around the turn and go down the back stretch to get themselves into position for this maiden race, race number 3 on our 8-race card this afternoon. Let's once again reintroduce you to everybody taking part. Your number 1 horse is Irish Maureen, driven by Tyler Grundy. Number 2 is One Timer, driven by Daryl Mason. The number 3 horse, Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go, driven by Corey Manning. And Irish Hawk is the number 4 horse, driven by Clayton Braybrook. The horses are going to be getting themselves into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are lined up as we come around the turn. They're at the post. Swing open that gate and watch them accelerate. It's an exciting maiden race for you. Race number 3 here at the Loop this afternoon, Red River Exhibition Park. And quickly out to the early lead from the outside. That is Stick 'em In, Let 'em Go as we get down that first turn. We have a break, though, on the 4-horse Irish Hawk, and Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go continues to lengthen the lead as we go down the backstretch. 2 horses starting to lengthen the lead and separate themselves from the pack. That's Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go with One Timer. Then we've got it's Irish Maureen and Irish Hawk at the back of the pack. 32 and 1 is your time for the first quarter. 32 and 1 as Irish Maureen continues to show the way. It's Parby, Stick 'em In, Let 'em Go. Stick 'em In, Let 'em Go. Then One Timer with Irish Hawk and Irish Maureen at the back of the pack. Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go. One Timer. They have separated themselves from the rest of the field and are basically running a 2-horse race currently. Then we've got Irish Hawk far, far back and Irish Maureen even further back. Being distanced right now as we come around to the halfway post in this maiden race. It is still Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go at 104 and 2. A slow pace to this second race or third race of the afternoon, pardon me. It's a maiden race that we're running here. None of these horses have won before in their career, so somebody is going to be heading into the winner's circle for the very, very first time. It is Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go continuing to show the way, followed very closely by One Timer about 2 lengths back, and it's Irish Hawk and Irish Maureen well out of the picture. Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go continues to, go, and lengthening a lead right now. 135 at the 3-quarter time. Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go. That is Corey Manning, who is driving and trading on that horse and has got that one just purring along right now as he continues to lengthen his lead over the number 2 horse, One Timer. Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go. Unless something happens drastic between now and the finish pole, is going to be a winner for the very first time in their career. And Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go, followed by One Timer as we head towards the finish line in this race number 3, a maiden race this afternoon. It's an easy mile win for him. Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go with Corey Manning. Congratulations with the first win at 205 and 4, followed closely by One Timer. And coming up, the rest is Irish Maureen. That is it for race number 3 here at the Loop. 205 and 4. Your winner, Stick 'em In and Let 'em Go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's official. Your winner at a time of 2:05 and 4 is Stick 'em In, Let 'em Go, the number 3 horse, driven and trained by Corey Manning. Stick 'em In, Let 'em Go is a 4-year-old brown horse by Lambretta. A Got a Lucky Deal from Sir Luck and owned by Corey Manning of Belmont, Manitoba. Your official order of finish on your program, top down 4-2-1-3. 4-2-1-3. And again, a time of 2:05 and 4. Your winner of race number 3 this afternoon, a maiden race in the very first race of their career. Stick 'em in, let 'em go. Stick 'em in, let 'em go was your winner at a time of 2:05 and 4. Stick 'em in, let 'em go paid $3 to win, $2.40 to place, and a refund for show. One timer, $3.90 to place with the refund. Irish Hawk, no money, and Irish Marine, no money. Your $1 exacta 3-2 paid $7.35, while that 20-cent triactor at 3-2-4 paid $1.09. That'll do it for race number 3 here at the Loop. All right, folks, it is race number 4 for a purse of $4,800. The horses are on the track, coming around the turn in front of the grandstand. Let's introduce you to everybody taking part in this one. Number 1 horse is Bobby Big Wheels, driven by Don Howlett and trained by Matthew Howlett. The number 2 horse is Super Fast, driven by Dean Ray and trained by Lorraine Ray. The number 3 horse is Not So Bashful. Pardon me, the number 3 horse, has been scratched in this one. Not So Bashful has been scratched in this race, race number 4. Your number 4 horse is HF April Kiss. Again, HF April's Kiss is the number 4 horse, driven by Daryl Mason, trained by Aaron Mason. Your number 5 horse, Laser Mania, driven by Michelle Ray, trained by Richard Ray. The number 6 horse, Mrs. Little Bozo, driven and trained by Mark Filion. And the number 7 horse is Palmer's Puddin', driven by Paula Mason and trained by Sherry Mason. So let's take a look ahead to race number 4. And again, we have 1 horse less in this one. We're down to a 6-horse field with the number 3 horse, Not So Bashful, being scratched. And I'm going to go for this one with the number 5 horse, Laser Mania. The filly has finished in the money 5 of her last 6 races, including 2 weeks ago when she broke in the second quarter and still fought her way back to finish second, less than 2 lengths off the lead. Last week, Michelle Ray had the hot hands on the reins, and I think they put it all together this week and scream across the finish line in first. For second in this one, let's go with the number 1 horse, Bobby Big Wheels. Bobby won his first career race last week, started along the rail again this week. The colt is used to the position, and I think he'll make it interesting at the finish line. And for third this time around, I'm going to go with the number 2 horse, Super Fast. Is coming back into the track after a 6-month layoff after running out east primarily, putting up some really, really nice times. And normally I wouldn't be picking Super Fast just because of the layoff that the horse has been having. But, this time around, I think I am going to pick him. I had originally picked the number 3 horse, Not So Bashful, but changing my pick this time to the number 2 horse, Super Fast, to finish third. So let's make it a 5-1-2 finish. 5-1-2 order of finish for race number 4. And good luck from the Loop. And now we send it downstairs for a recap on race number 3 and a look ahead to race number 4. Here's the old professor himself, Mr. Mike Williams.
Well, race 3, stick 'em and let 'em go. Corey Manning did not disappoint in race number 3. Corey's second week back. He hasn't raced here all summer. Looked very good on the sulky in race number 3. Congratulations to Corey Manning. Wire-to-wire performance in race number 3. Race number 4, I find this race not so simple. And what Frank said, Super Fast, hasn't raced in about 6 months, but I'm going to take him at first asking here. He did have 6 starts and only 1 second, but I'm going to gamble on this horse. I like the way he mile there would be a 2-1-2-2 mile. In race number 4. The horse to watch out for is Laser Mania, owned by Laverne Turnbull, driver Michelle Ray, trainer Richard Ray. This horse has never been far out of it. Every single race, he's always right there and closes well usually in the race late. So Laser Mania, look for him closing and making this race a close one. I think it's going to be between the 2 and the 5 when it all counts at the winning circle. You're looking for money. I've said many times I don't like betting a 2-year-old against 3, 4, and even 5-year-olds in this race number 4. But this horse looks like a million. We saw how that horse did earlier on today. But Don Hallett has got this horse right, draws the inside. Look for a perfect trip and watch him close. Would not surprise me to see this 2-year-old get the job done. But I'm going to stick with my 3 picks. I'm going to go with the 2, 5, and 1. In race number 4, we'll see everybody back in race number 5.
All right, folks, the horses have been called to the post as they head around the turn and down the back stretch. Let's reintroduce you to everybody taking part in this, the race number 4 this afternoon. Your number 1 horse is Bobby Big Wheels with driver Don Howlett. Number 2 is Super Fast, driven by Dean Ray. The number 4 horse is HF April's Kiss with Daryl Mason on the reins. Laser Mania is your number 5 horse, driven by Michelle Ray. Number 6 is Mrs. Little Bozo with driver Mark Filion. And number 7 is Palmer's Puddin', driven by Paula Mason. The horses are going to get themselves lined up at the gate, and we are going to be but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are in position as we come around the turn. We're at the post. Swing open that gate and let those ponies accelerate. It is race number 4 from the Loop. Red River Exhibition Park, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in September. Taking that early lead, it's the newcomer coming back into the pack, Super Fast. We head down that backstretch. Super Fast takes the early lead, followed by HF April's Kiss, Laser Mania, Palmer's Puddin', and then it's Mrs. Little Bozo and also Bobby Big Wheels as we head down the backstretch towards the first quarter. Hit that first quarter at a time of 29 and 4, and Super Fast continues to plow the road and show the way in advance of HF April's Kiss, Laser Mania, Palmer's Puddin'. Then we've got Mrs. Little Bozo and also Bobby Big Wheels bigging up the back of the pack. Super Fast, as we come around turn number 2, continues to show the way. It is HF April's Kiss hanging tight with on the inside, and Laser Mania and Palmer's Pudding. We're hitting the halfway point in race number 4 this afternoon at a time of 1 minute and 2/5, with Super Fast continuing to show the way. It is HF April's Kiss, followed by Laser Mania and Palmer's Puddin'. It is Super Fast in the lead. Super Fast now lengthening out to almost a 2-horse lead as we head down the backstretch for the final time. Super Fast with Dean Ray not showing any signs whatsoever of almost a 6-month layoff since their last race. Super Fast continuing to go strong as we hit that 3/4 pole in a time of 1:30 and 4. Super Fast, it is lengthening the lead. The gelding is showing the way for the rest of the pack, but now coming up on the outside, that is Bobby Big Wheels showing some late speed, penning in and coming around to take second spot. It is Super Fast still in the lead as they have been from almost wire to wire as we come around the backstretch and we are into the home stretch for the final time. That is Super Fast. Super Fast, again, not showing any rust whatsoever after a 6-month layoff. Your winner at a time of 2:01 and 1 is Super Fast, followed by Bobby Big Wheels and Lazar Mania. 2:01 and 1. Congratulations in race number 4 to Super Fast. It's official, ladies and gentlemen, heading towards the winner's circle in this race number 4. It is super fast in a time of 2:01 and 1, driven by Dean Ray, trained by Lorraine Ray. The 4-year-old bay gelding is by In the Irons, out of Hammers a Rainbow from Mr. Big and owned by Lorraine Ray of St. Claude, Manitoba, and Vince Southern of Carmen, Manitoba. Congratulations to the team of Dean Ray and super fast. Your official top-down order of finish on your program is 2-1 scratch 4365. Again, 2-1 scratch 4365. We will have your payouts for you in a few minutes from now. Your winner again in a time of 2:01 and 1. Super fast. Super fast paid $2.90 to win, $2.10 to place, $2.10 to show. Bobby Big Wheels, your number 2 horse, paid $2.30 to place and $2.90 to show. And your number 3 horse was Laser Mania, $3.60 to show. Your $1 exactor 2-1 paid $7.85, while the Triactor 215 paid $1.66. That does it for race number 4. We'll have a look ahead to race number 5 in a few minutes from now. All right, folks, it is race number 5 this afternoon, and this is another biggie. It's leg number 2 of the Silk Lace Stakes. It's a run for the ladies. The entire race of 3-year-old fillies. This is going to be a good one. We're going to have some fun for a purse of $7,616. Let's introduce you to everybody taking part in this very important stake race. Number 1 is Trust Me a Lot, driven by Tyler Grundy and trained by Jacqueline Grundy. Your number 2 horse, now coming across the grandstand, is Chasing Rainbows, driven by Richard Remillard and trained by Lorraine Ray. The number 3 horse, Grit and Grace, with Dean Ray on the reins and trained by Lorraine Ray. Your number 4 horse is Choose to Cruise. Take note of a driver change in this one. Choose to Cruise now being driven by Don Howlett and trained by Trevor Williams. Again, the number 4 horse, Choose to Cruise, being driven by Don Howlett and trained by Trevor Williams. And your number 5 horse is Chocolate Bomb, being driven by Paula Mason and trained by Sherry Mason. So taking a look ahead now to race number 5. Again, it's leg number 2 of the Silk Lace Stakes. And let's see what we think is going to happen in this one. Back on August the 17th, Grit and Grace was the winner, running a beautiful final quarter to take leg 1 of the Silk Purse in a time of 59-4. But you know what? This time around, I think she's going to be hard-pressed to repeat the feature for leg number 2. This time around, I'm going to go with the number 2 horse, Chasing Rainbows, to cross the line first and head to the winner's circle. Finished second last week, starting from 5th. I think starting from the number 2 hole, this filly will have enough of a time advantage to hold off the rest of the field. For second this time around, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse, Choose to Cruise. 4 wins in her last 6 starts, and in the money wise, has collected more than any other horse in this field here at the Loop. If she was starting a little higher in this race, I probably would take her for first, but I think at the end she'll just make it an exciting call for second place. And for third, I really like the number 3 horse, Grit and Grace. She won 3 weeks in a row earlier this season. Her times have fallen off a little bit since then. Last week ran a below average 205-1. Never really a threat from the outside. I think this week she finishes third, and at the end, in the end, and an early 5-1 improves the payout on a triactor bet as well. So for leg number 2 of the Silk Lace Stake, let's say 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and 4 to go for this race. This, by the way, also race number 1 of today's Pick 4 feature, where you have the chance to pick the winner of races 5, 6, 7, and 8. So looking ahead, if you'd like to do the Pick 4, let's go with the number 2 horse in this race. In the next race, it's going to be the number 3 horse, Colonel Kelly, in the 6th, the number 3 horse, Fancy That, in the 7th, and the number 4 horse, Singing Ramona, in the 8th. And that is my picks for the Pick 4 feature. Good luck from the Loop. Now let's send it down for a recap on the last race and a look ahead to this one with the Professor, Mike Williams.
Well, that super fast didn't disappoint. 6 months off. I think I give more credit in this race to trainer Lorraine Ray, even though Dean drove the horse perfect. To get a horse race tight at first asking after a 6-month layoff is pretty impressive. Job well done by Superfast. Congratulations to the combinations of Dean Ray and Roland Ray. And don't forget the 2-year-old Bobby Big Wheels. What a large mile. He pulled the horse on the backside and went around everyone and raced very strong for a 2-year-old horse. He paced his mile in 2-2 and a piece, and I found that quite impressive. Race number 5, we got the big stake race here. I'm going to go back to the 4 horse, Choose to Cruise. Don Howlett aboard, was on the outside leaving in a large field. And the 6 hole, sometimes if you don't get things your own way, things happen. And Choose to Cruise didn't have his best race at all. Look to make amends today. You might even see him staying off the gate a little bit and see what he can do off the pace. But time will tell on that. Grit and Grace, same thing last week, had the 7 hole. And I think both of those horses has a little bit of an excuse going into the race today. And look for Grit and Grace, a really nice 3-year-old filly, and wouldn't disappoint at all to see her finish in first or second. Chasing Rainbows, what can you say? He's made just over $13,000. Finished second, beat both the 3 and the 4 last week. So it's going to be a good horse race, 5-horse field. Looking forward to it, but I'm going to take the 4, 3, and 2 in that order. Good luck. We'll see everybody back in race number 6.
All right, folks, the horses have been called to the post. So as they make their way around the track to get themselves lined up behind the starting gate, let's reintroduce you to everybody taking place in this leg number 2 of the Silk Lace Stakes. 3-year-old fillies right across. Number 1 is Trust Me a Lot, driven by Tyler Grundy. The number 2 horse, Chasing Rainbows, with Richard Remillard on the bike. Grit and Grace is your number 3 horse, driven by Dean Ray. It's Choose to Cruise, the number 4 horse, and again, it's Don Howlett, who's the driver today. And the number 5 horse is Chocolate Bomb, with driver Paula Mason. The horses get themselves into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses have lined up as we come around the turn. We're at the post. So hang up with that gate and watch them ponies accelerate. We are pacing it as leg number 2 of the Silk Lace Stakes this afternoon here at the Loop Red River Exhibition Park. And shooting out of that number 3 hole, it is Grit and Grace, with driver Dean Ray taking the early lead as we come around turn number 2, followed closely by Chasing Rainbows, Trust Me a Lot, Choose to Cruise, and Chocolate Bomb at the back of the pack as the horses spread themselves out to settle in and start this wonderful race. As we hit the first quarter post at a time of 29 and 2, it is still Grit and Grace showing the way for the rest of the field, followed by Chasing Rainbows, Trust Me a Lot, Choose to Cruise, and Chocolate Bomb. Grit and Grace making a little bit of a lengthening out their lead as we come around turn number 2 and head down the home stretch for the first time this afternoon. It is Grit and Grace with Dean Ray still showing the way, but now starting to press the case is going to be Chasing Rainbows. Chasing Rainbows closing up that lead as we hit the halfway mark at a time of 1 minute and 3. The horse is pretty evenly spaced as we hit that halfway point of the leg number 2 of the Silk Lace Stakes, with Grit and Grace still in lead, followed by Chasing Rainbows, Trust Me a Lot, and Choose to Cruise. Chasing Rainbows, that's Richard Remillard looking for his second win of the afternoon as we go down the back stretch for the final time. It is going to be Grit and Grace, followed by Chasing Rainbows, and now starting to press their case. Trust Me a Lot boxes in. Chasing Rainbows on the outside at the three-quarter pole at a time of 1:31 even, and starting to make the move on the outside again, pressing their case. That is going to be Trust Me a Lot, but Chasing Rainbows pulls away to hold off all comers. It is still Grit and Grace as we come around the turn for the final time. Grit and Grace lengthening now to about 2.5, 3-horse lead as we come down the home stretch. This leg number 2 of the Silk Lace Stakes. Look at that filly fly. It is Grit and Grace. I don't think there's going to be enough room to catch. It is going to be Grit and Grace at a time of 2 minutes and 2/5 seconds. Congratulations to Dean Ray. Grit and Grace, your winner. Leg number 2 of the Silk Lace Stakes. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner of race number 5 this afternoon, the second leg of the Silk Race Stakes, is number 3 horse Grit and Grace at a time of 2 minutes and 2/5 seconds. Grit and Grace, that's the second win of the afternoon, by the way, for Dean Ray and trainer Lorraine Ray. It's a 3-year-old bay filly by I'm the Pied Piper out of Dragon Art from Artificial and owned by Lorraine Ray of St. Claude, Manitoba. Coming around the turn, heading towards the winner's circle, congratulations again to Grit and Grace and Dean Ray, the winner of leg 2 of the Silk Lace Stakes. Your top down order of finish 4-3-1-2-5. Again, 4-3-1-2-5. We'll be back with your payouts in a couple of minutes' time. Again, ladies and gentlemen, your winner at a time of 2 minutes and 2. Grit and Grace. Grit and Grace, driven by Dean Ray, paid $5.90 to win, $2.10 to place, and $2.10 to show. Choose to Cruise, the number 2 horse, paid $2.60 to place and $2.10 to show. While Chasing Rainbows, your number 3 horse, paid $2.10 to show. The $1 exactor, 3-4, paid $6.95. Your 20-cent triactor, 342, paid $1.96. And your pick 3, 3233, paid $1.75. That'll do it for race number 6 on this 8-race card here this afternoon. Or pardon me, that's race number 5. We're going to look ahead to race number 6 coming up in a few minutes from now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the horses are coming out for the post parade. This is race number 6 for a purse of $5,900. Let's introduce you to everybody taking part in this one. The number 1 horse is Betcha Love Me. That's driven by Tyler Grundy. Your number 2 horse is Two Shoes, driven by Mark Filion, trained by Denis Chapelet. Your number 3 horse is Colonel Kelly, driven and trained by Clayton Braybrook. Coming around in front of the grandstand, the number 4 horse for this race is Mock Jacobs. Mock Jacobs, driven by Dean Ray, trained by Lorraine Ray. Your number 5 horse, One Last Bet, driven by Paula Mason, trained by Roland Ray. And the number 6 horse, Appoggiatura, driven by Daryl Mason and trained by Clayton Braybrook. So let's take a look ahead to race number 6 this afternoon. A 6-horse field. It's one a tough one to decide with a lot of very, very closely matched horses in this one. And we have to give kudos to the race secretary for putting this one together. It's going to be a toughie. For first, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse, Colonel Kelly. Has been in the money the last 3 weeks, running third, first, and third. So, if you believe in patterns, he should win this week, right? But all kidding aside, has run 2 and 4/5 the last 2 weeks and has the best loop average time of any other horse in this field. So put it all together, and I think he finishes first today. For second, let's take the number 1 horse, Betcha Love Me. Ran from 4th to 1st last week, pacing on the outside for about 3/4 of that race, but on average runs anywhere 2 to 3 seconds slower than my first choice. So that's why I'm thinking the mare holds on and races for second today. And for third, let's go with the number 2 horse, Two Shoes. Ran a great race a couple weeks back, going pretty much wire to wire, starting out 5th and from the rail and just taking it all the way through. But the consistency isn't there yet. Gets the nod because he's starting second, but I think he'll fade a touch and wind up showing when all is said and done. So in race number 6, let's take a look at it and say 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. Good luck from the Loop. Now, with a recap on race 5 and his opinion on race number 6, we throw it down to the professor, Mike Williams.
Very good race in the Silk Lace Stake, leg 2. Anytime you get a 2-minute mile on these half-mile tracks, that's pretty impressive. And Grit and Grace did it, pretty impressive. Wire-to-wire performance, and congratulations to Dean Ray and trainer Lorraine Ray again for a job well done with Grit and Grace. Race number 6 looks to be a good one. I'm going to go a little different than Frank here as far as the win goes. I like the 2 horse, Two Shoes. Mark Filion has driven this horse many times, even though you don't see it on the lines in the last 6. His win percentage on this horse is extremely high. Those two really, really get along, and I expect Two Shoes to take this one and try to win this one from start to finish. I really like Two Shoes for the win. Horse for second, Colonel Kelly. You see back-to-back 2-minute miles. Finished third, finished first in one. Definitely going to be a major threat in here, but doesn't have a real high win percentage. So I'm going to take Colonel Kelly for the exactor in race number 6 here, but she will be close. Horse for third, Paula Mason with One Last Bet, trainer Roland Ray. Take a look at that, just shy of $30,000 this year made, and has been pacing miles in around 2-1, a couple of them in 2 minutes earlier on. Definitely can be heard from late in this race, and it's going to be passing some tired horses. And Paula is very aggressive. She's probably going to be out on the move early in the race. But I really like the 2 horse, Two Shoes, followed by 3, Colonel Kelly, and the 5 horse, One Last Bet.
All right, folks, as the horses head down the back stretch, get themselves ready to get into position, let's reintroduce you to everybody taking part in this race number 6 this afternoon for a purse of $5,900. Your number 1 horse is Bet You Love Me, driven by Tyler Grundy. Your number 2 horse, Two Shoes, with Mark Filion on the reins. Number 3 is Colonel Kelly, driven by Clayton Braybrook. Number 4 is Mock Jacobs, with Dean Ray in the bike. One last bet is Paula Mason, the driver, and that's the number 5 horse. And the number 6 horse is Appoggiatura, driven by Daryl Mason. The horses are moving to get themselves into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are in position as we come around the turn. We're at the post. Swing open that gate and watch them ponies accelerate. We are pacing. It is race number 6 on an 8-race card this afternoon here at the Red River Exhibition Park as we head down into turn number 2 and the horses start to settle themselves out. That is Two Shoes taking the early lead, followed very closely by Mock Jacobs. Then we've got Colonel Kelly, One Last Bet, followed by Bet You Love Me and Appoggiatura looking at everybody else. Heading down that back stretch as we head towards the first quarter pole, it is still Two Shows as we hit the first quarter in a time of 30-2. It is Two Shows with Mark Filion looking for a win this afternoon. Hasn't picked one up, just has a second place finish to show for his efforts so far. Two Shoes coming around the turn with Mock Jacobs, Colonel Kelly, One Last Bet. Then it is Appoggiatura and Bet You Love Me. Two Shoes, Mock Jacobs, Colonel Kelly, One Last Bet. The horses are all strung out as we've got a bit of a break from Colonel Kelly. Colonel Kelly had a break as we came down the home stretch and we hit the halfway point at a time of 1 minute and 3. 1 minute and 3, Two Shoes, Mock Jacobs, Colonel Kelly fell off the pace a little bit with that break, but followed by One Last Bet, and it's Bet You Love Me and Appoggiatura. Appoggiatura now starting to move up. Two Shoes, Mock Jacobs, Colonel Kelly, and One Last Bet heading down the back stretch for the final time in this race number 6 this afternoon. As we sort of thought they might, Two Shoes continues to lead and has been going from wire to wire as we hit the three-quarter post at a time of 1:30-4. Mark Filion has got Two Shoes just cruising right now. The rest of the field, you can throw a blanket over them as Two Shoes starts to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Now it is going to be Two Shoes, followed closely by Mock Jacobs, as those two horses are going to battle it out as we come around the final turn and head towards home. Two Shoes is still holding off all comers. Is there going to be enough of a stretch run to be able to make it happen? It is Two Shoes being challenged by Mock Jacobs. Two Shoes, Mock Jacobs. Wow! Great googly moogly. That is a close one in a time of 2 minutes and 3/5 seconds. I think we're going to have to wait for a judge's decision to tell us for sure. It's either going to be Two Shoes or Mock Jacobs. Hold all your tickets, folks, and stick around. We will have your official winner coming up in a couple of seconds from now. All right, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner rather, at a time of 2 minutes and 3/5 is the number 4 horse, Mock Jacobs. Hey, congratulations to Dean Ray picking up his third win of the afternoon to go with a third place finish. Mock Jacobs, driven by Dean Ray and trained by Lorraine Ray, is a 7-year-old bay gelding by Mach 3 out of another Cam Kiss and from Cam Luck, owned by Lorraine Ray of St. Claude, Manitoba, and Vince Southern of Carmen, Manitoba. Again, your winner at a time of 2 minutes and 3/5, Mock Jacobs. Your official top-down order of finish on your program for that race number 6, 625-143. Again, 625-143. Your winner again at a time of 2 minutes and 3/5. Mock Jacob paid $330 to win, $520 to place, and $280 to show. Two Shoes, your number 2 horse, paid $480 to place, $260 to show, and the number 6 horse, Appoggiatura, came in third at $960 to show. Your $1 exactor, 4-2, paid $16.65, while the triactor, 426, paid $14.15. That'll do it for race number 6 from the Loop. It is rate number 7, ladies and gentlemen, for a purse of $5,000. The horses are on the track, so let's take a moment to introduce you to everybody that's taking part in this, like I said, race number 7 on our 8-race card this afternoon. Coming around the turn and passing in front of the grandstand, that's your number 1 horse, Super Cozy, driven and trained by Paula Mason. The number 2 horse, Irish Gene, driven and trained by Clayton Braybrook. The number 2 horse is Fancy That with driver Daryl Mason and trainer Sherry Mason. Number 4 is Some Might Say with driver Michelle Ray, trained by Richard Ray. And your number 5 horse in this race is going to be Control the Distance, driven by Don Howlett and trained by Sherry Mason. So let's take a look ahead to race number 7. And for the win, I'm going to head to the middle of the gate and take the number 3 horse, Fancy That. Started 4th the last 2 weeks, won both races, taking early leads and never really looking back. Daryl Mason and trainer Sherry Mason seem to have found the right formula for this horse. And if Fancy That really dialed in, I think it'll be a three-peat for the 4-year-old. For second, let's go with the number 1 horse, Super Cozy. The mare seems to do a little better when starting further from the rail than swooping in on the field like a bird of prey. I think she'll actually be in the mix for this one. I just don't think she'll hang on to her starting position and win in the end. She'll challenge, but she will finish off second. And for third, let's go with the number 5 horse, Control the Distance. Dawn and Paula Mason have been taking turns holding the reins for this mare, who's finished in the money 6 straight weeks. Today, she's been driven by Don Howlett. Interesting to see how his touch affects the 4-year-old's race. A lot of ground to make up the going from 5th to 1st. I think my other 2 picks are just too evenly matched with Control the Distance, and she'll come in for a show finish. So in race number 7, let's bet at 3-1-5. And this is also the first race of the late daily double, which is going to be getting bet. And that's going to be for 3 and 3. So again, for race number 7, let's bet 3-1-5 as we head downstairs for a recap on race 6 and a look ahead to race 7 with the professor, Mike Williams.
And what a race again it was. 2 shoes, wire-to-wire performance. He tried to steal it, lost in the last step with a perfect trip. Dean Ray, I believe, has 3 wins on the day. With Mark Jacobs, just gave him a perfect trip and just got him on the last stride. Again, in a mile in 2 minutes and 3/5. Job well done. Congratulations, Dean Ray and trainer Lorraine Ray. Let's go right to race number 7. We have a 5-horse field, and I like Fancy That. Daryl Mason, back-to-back wins with this horse. It'll be a natural three-peat with Fancy That. Doesn't look like a heck of a lot of early speed in here, so I think he's going to challenge. He's got his daughter on the inside, so I think he's going to get to the front as he pleases, I hope, and try to steal this one wire to wire. Has been pacing some good miles in 2-2 and a piece, and should be your number 1 pick in here. Control the Distance. Don Howlett hasn't been worse than actually second in the third once, top 3 in the last 6 starts, and does have early speed and can come off the pace. So look for Control the Distance, in my opinion, to come flying down the lane and try to steal the whole show. On the inside, with a lot of post relief, came out of post position 6 last time, still got to the top. And Paula might have her mind made up to steal it on the front end as well. I'm not quite sure. But Super Cozy, a definite threat as well. It's a good horse race in here. I'm going to take the 3, 5, and 1. And if you take a look at those 3 horses, they're all trained by the Mason family. So we could have a natural Mason triactor in this race. And that's what I'm calling a 3, 5, and 1. Daily double. I love the 3, Fancy That. And I'm going to go with the 5 horse, Seek and Destroy, to complete the day in the late daily double. Good luck. See everybody back in race number 8.
All right, folks, the horses have been called to the post, so as they head around the turn, down the back stretch, and get themselves all positioned, let's reintroduce you to everybody taking part in this race number 7 this afternoon for a purse of $5,000. Your number 1 horse is Super Cozy, driven by Paula Mason. The number 2 horse is Irish Jean with Clayton Braybrook on the reins. Number 3 is Fancy That, driven by Daryl Mason. Number 4, Some Might Say, with Michelle Ray on the reins. At number 5 is Control the Distance, being driven by Don Howlett. The horses are getting themselves into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are lined up as we come around the turn. They're at the post. Swing open that gate. Watch the ponies accelerate. We are pacing. We've got an early break. That is horse number 4. Some might say, or pardon me, horse number 3, Fancy That. That had the early break. As we head down into turn number 1, we've got coming up from the outside. That is Irish Jean taking the early lead. It is Control the Distance. That's Control the Distance who takes the early lead, followed by Some Might Say, Super Cozy, then Irish Jean, and Fancy That at the back of the pack after that early break. As we hit the first pole at 29-3, it continues to be Some Might Say in the lead. The top 3 horses kind of bunched together, and now we've got a big break coming from Super Cozy on the outside. Super Cozy showing some real speed as they come around the turn side by side. That is Super Cozy and Some Might Say. Super Cozy, Some Might Say, neck and neck as we come around that second turn, followed by Control the Distance, Irish Jean, and Fancy That. Heading down the home stretch for the first time, they don't get much closer than that. It is Super Cozy and also Some Might Say at a time of 101 even as we hit the halfway mark. It is Super Cozy and Some Might Say as we head down into the backstretch for the final time. Some might say with Michelle Ray, who's got a hot hand today, a second place and a third place, he's looking for a win to make it a perfect day for himself. Some might say continues to show the way as we head towards the three-quarter pole, being followed by Super Cozy. Some might say hits that three-quarter mark at a time of 131 and even. That is Some Might Say going down that back stretch and making a real nice pull away from the rest of the field, followed being closely now by Control the Distance, showing some nice speed as we come around that final turn. It is Control the Distance, and Some Might Say side by side as we head into the final stretch. Is Control the Distance going to have enough room to be able to catch and pass? It looks like it. Yes, it is going to be Control the Distance with some late speed. Control the Distance. Some might say Irish Jean. That's your finish. 1, 2, 3 in a time of 2:02 and 1. Congratulations to Don Howlett. He's got a hot hand today. He finishes off Control the Distance again at a time of 2:02 and 1. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner at a time of 2:02 and 1 and a great race and some nice speed in the end. I was Control the Distance. Man, Don Hollett's having a day. He's got a couple of firsts, a couple of seconds, and a third as well to show for his efforts today. Control the Distance, driven by Don Hollett, trained by Sherry Mason, a 4-year-old bay mare by Control the Moment out of Ashley's Luck from Camluck, owned by Barry and Sherry Mason of Killarney, Manitoba. Again, your winner in the winner's circle at a time of 2:02 and 1. That's Control the Distance. So your official program top-down order of finish for race number 7, 5-3-4-2-1. Again, 5-3-4-2-1. So your winner, Control the Distance, paid $430 to win, $210 to place, and $490 to show. Your number 2 horse was Some Might Say at $840 to place and $380 to show. Well, number 3, Irish Jean, paid $820 to show. Your $1 exactor 5-4 paid $6.90. And take a look at your triactor, folks. A 20-cent triactor 542 paid $79.97. Whoo-hoo! Someone's going to be going home with a big smile and a lot of jingle in their jeans tonight. That does it for race number 7, folks. Race number 1 of the Daily Double. We will have race number 8 for you coming up very soon. All right, folks, it is race number 8. Unfortunately, the final race on our card this afternoon, but nonetheless, it is going to be a good one. It is the ACEAF Softball League Championship Pace. There's a mouthful for you. For a purse of $5,400, let's introduce you to everybody taking part in this 5-horse field. The number 1 horse is Braxton's Boy, driven by Michelle Ray, trained by Richard Ray. Number 2 is Non-Versation with Richard Remillard on the reins, trained by Tara Isman. The number 3 horse is Flying Officer, driven by Tyler Grundy, trained by Jacqueline Grundy. Coming down the track, going to be passing in front of the grandstand momentarily. That is going to be your number 4 horse, Singing Ramona. Singing Ramona is driven by Don Howlett, trained by Matthew Howlett. And just coming around the turn right now, going to be passing into view in front of the grandstand in a couple of seconds. That is your number 5 horse, Seek and Destroy. Seek and Destroy is driven and trained by Paula Mason in the Purple Silks. Race number 8, again, the final race of the afternoon. Let's take a look ahead for you at this ACEAF Softball League Championship Pace for a purse of $5,400. Great race to finish off the card this afternoon with some of the best the Loop has to offer taking part. For first, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse on this one, Singing Ramona. The mare seems to thrive running from the outside, has never started higher than 3rd at the Loop, but has still been in the money 5 of her last 6 races, has flirted with breaking the 2-minute mark. Almost scary to think what kind of time she'd turn in if she drew to along the rail. I think Ramona and driver Don Howlett have the speed to make up a distance and go from 4th to 1st. Plus, Don Howlett's just having an amazing day this afternoon with a win, a 3rd place finish, and a couple of 2nd place finishes as well. My place pick for race number 8 is going to be the number 1 horse, Braxton's Boy. Starting along the rail gives this 4-year-old an instant advantage, but I don't think it'll be enough to hold off the speeding Singing Ramona. And then to show in the 8th, I like the number 2 horse, Non-Versation. Again, it's the starting position that has me picking her to finish in the money. If she was running behind the gate, 4th or 5th, Non-Versation wouldn't even be in the conversation. And did I just pick 3 horses with the longest odds? You bet I did. 4, 1, and 2. 4, 1, and 2. If you bet it as a triactor and it comes in, you're going to be going home with a grin and some nice jingle in your jeans after race 8 today. That's it. Good luck from the Loop. Let's head down for a recap on race number 7 and a look ahead to race 8. In his opinion, it's the Professor, Mike Williams.
Thanks again, Frank. Well, that last race, the favorite, Fancy That, broke twice in that race and took this 4-year-old horse out of the race and controlled the distance, finally edged out and got race room at the top of the lane and got out and didn't disappoint, had lots left coming home, and a great drive by Don Howlett. Congratulations again to the combinations of Don Howlett and trainer Sherry Mason. Job well done in race number 7. Well, let's go right to the finale. We have a 5-horse field in race number 8. And what a lot of speed we have in this race. But I'm going to go with the far outside, Seek and Destroy. Did have the rail position last week and took it wire to wire. Impressive time in 2 minutes and a piece. Just has all kinds of speed. And I don't see Paula doing anything else but trying to point this one to the front and try to steal this race wire to wire. Along with Singing Ramona, my second pick, also has a heck of a lot of speed, but I think he's going to be forced to take back in here. And Don Howlett knows when he leaves the gate if he's going to get there or not. So I'm thinking he has to come off the pace in race number 8 here. A horse that's always close, and he's out and on the move early every single start. Always in the top 3 this year. Flying Officer, never far out of it. He's had 11 starts, yet to get to the winning circle. But take a look, 4 seconds and 5/3, 9 for 11. Long overdue for a win. And back-to-back miles in 2 minutes fits well in this 5-horse field. But I'm going to stick with the 5, 4, and 3 in race number 8. We'll see everybody back at the Loop, post time 1 o'clock next Saturday. Good luck, everybody.
As the horses head down the back stretch for the first time as we get ready to get into position, let's reintroduce you to everybody taking part in this, the ACEAF Softball League Championship Pace. It's race number 8 this afternoon for a purse of $5,400. Number 1 is Braxton's Boy, driven by Michelle Ray. Number 2 is Non-Versation, driven by Richard Remillard. Number 3 is Flying Officer with Tyler Grundy driving. Number 4 is Singing Ramona, driven by Don Howlett. And number 5, Seek and Destroy, being driven by Paula Mason. The horses are getting into position, and we are but mere moments away from pacing. The horses are lined up as we come around the turn. They're at the post. Swing open that gate and watch them ponies accelerate. It is the ACEAF Softball League Championship Pace, race number 8 from the Loop on a sunny Saturday afternoon. Quickly heading down into turn number 1 and diving into the lead is Singing Ramona, as we thought she might. Singing Ramona, followed by Braxton's Boy, and it's Non-Versation and Flying Officer. Singing She goes down the back stretch. Singing Ramona still leading the way, followed by Braxton's Boy and its Non-Versation and Flying Officer as we hit the first quarter post at a time of 29-4. Nice time for us here. That is Singing Ramona continuing to show the way as the horses space themselves out evenly. It's Singing Ramona, Braxton's Boy, Non-Versation, Flying Officer, and Seek and Destroy, watching them all. Singing Ramona comes around turn number 2, still holding on to that lead. It is Seek and Destroy now starting to make a move from the outside and starting to make a move into 4th spot as we hit the halfway point at a time of 1 minute and 2. Singing Ramona still showing the lead, but the horses coming around the turn now starting to move into position as they make the run for the final. That is still Singing Ramona, but look at Singing Ramona in the lead, followed by Braxton's Boy, Non-Versation, Seek and Destroy, but now Non-Versation now starting to come up onto the outside as we head down that backstretch. Non-Versation challenging for the lead. They are almost 2 across as we come up to the 3/4 pole at a time of 1:30-3. Singing Ramona, though, says, nope, I'm going to start moving away from the rest of you guys, and I'm going to make a break for it. Singing Ramona now putting some space between herself and the rest of the field. Singing Ramona now has done just that, but it's Braxton's Boy, Non-Versation, and Flying Officer who are blanketed together, challenging for second. Singing Ramona, though, continues to show the way as we come into the home stretch. Race number 8, and it looks like it is going to be Singing Ramona easily heading the final at a time of 1:59-4. 1:59-4, our first sub 2-minute time today. Congratulations to Don Howlett, who's had himself an incredible day today. 3 wins, a 3rd place finish, a couple of 2nd place finishes. Man, there's a reason why he's one of the leading drivers on the circuit this year here at the Loop. Singing Ramona, your winner in race number 8. Heading into the winner's circle, ladies and gentlemen, your unofficial winner at a time of 1:59.04, Singing Ramona, driven by Don Howlett and trained by Matthew Howlett. Judges are not ready as of yet to go official on this race, so just hold on to your tickets for a few minutes yet. Again, unofficially, your winner in the winner's circle, Singing Ramona. We will be back with an official order of finish very shortly. We're official, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner at a time of 1:59.04, Singing Ramona. Congratulations to Singing Ramona and driver Don Howlett, who had quite a day. Trainer Matthew Howlett as well. The 4-year-old bay mare by sports writer out of Gilbert, Hanover from Western Idea, owned by Don Howlett of West St. Paul. So your official top-down order of finish in this, the 8th and final race for this afternoon, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. Singing Ramona paid $4.80 to win, $3.70 to place, and $2.10 to show. Conversation, your number 2 horse, paid $4.10 to place and $3 to show. Well, Braxton's Boy, a surprise in third place, paid $2.70 to show. Your $1 exactor 4-2 paid $6.45. A triactor of 4-2-1 paid $3.25. While the $1 late daily double 5 and 4 paid $10.40. And then there was the pick 4 feature, a $1 pick 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, paid $19.05. That does it for the Loop this afternoon here at Red River Exhibition Park. We are going to have one qualifying race still to come if you'd like to stick around and watch a little horse racing just for the fun of it. We will be back again next Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock when we will have more exciting racing action. Until then, make sure you have yourself a very, very safe week. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you again next Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock here at the Loop at Red River Exhibition Park.